Loniki says, love the state lighting by the way. Stage asterisk. Kiesa hubo nacis. Loniki smiles. Luella shouts, can you speak louder please?
Pink shouts, passes out the sashes to join with her fellow bride team, celebrating the upcoming wedding. She dances with joy and excitement of night. Passing out shots, she shakes her stuff as the DJ plays a favorite tune. Passion shouts, get it girl. Judy says, hope sesh. Brienne and beaming, she dances happily and slightly intoxicated. Eyes look about her soaking in the sights of her bachelorette party and trying to commit everything to memory in her tipsy state. Manages to keep in step with her besties. Grateful that the dance moves were easy to manage, then calls out to the entire club with, last night, freedom. I'm getting married. Felicity teeth flash in colored lights. Eyes alight as laughter rises above the music. The flesh of her calves cast in shadows, heels lifting and defining their shape amid the pack of leggy girls moving together, turning as one joyous bundle.
Eagle shouts, don't do it, it's a trap. Eloise shouts, don't become a FC. Nina shouts, dances with her friends, celebrating Ree's bachelorette party. Her hips sway to the music, as if a beast inside her is finally ready to be unleashed. Nothing foreshadows what's about to happen.
She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get
Haley shouts,
lucky.
squeals, giggling, oh my gosh, you hired male strippers for us, wait. What? Screams out. Help us, squeals of delight turn into screams of terror, help, where are you taking us? Tahenia hips sway to the rhythm, arms lift gracefully. In subtle waves she spins in hopes of drawing attention. A spark of mischief flashes as she moves between shadows and firelight. Her gaze flickers over the room with quiet invitation.
Eileen shouts, me slash transported to gore and swept into the warmth of Care Tavern. She lets the drums claim her as silk sway and bare feet glide across the floor. Her dance a heady mix of grace, fire, and pure tabernacle. Z guides her hips with the precision of one who masters desire and temptation. Her red hair sweeps through the air in captivating spins, spreading not only her scent, but a presence that intoxicates and invites touch. Her eyes close for a moment, feline and calculated, as if savoring the dance before the final pleasure. In the slight curve of her lips, she holds the anticipation of what is yet to come.
Rafflesia shouts. A subtle mix of mead and a hint of pega fills the air, merging with the rhythm, creating a vibrant, inviting aura. I feel the silk caress my skin like a gentle whisper, each movement echoing in harmony with the pulsing music. Noxie moves uncertainly in the sand pits, each step hesitant yet touched with growing need as she learns the rhythm of this place she finds herself in. Terrified to lift her gaze, she moves with beauty, trying to appease these men that watch them. Faith says, "Applause." Ashley says, "Applause."
Coarten shouts, "Applauds and applauds."
Mahina claps. Cha says, "Bravo."
Nayla Centauri says, "Bravo."
Esh says, "Applauses."
Selena Day Shows says, "Applause."
Celia says, "Greetings."
Eileen shouts, "We glide beside our escorts toward the city, bodies swaying in practiced rhythm as our steps quicken at the sight of our destination ahead."
Tahenia moves in quiet unison, steps elegant as body sways with practiced grace despite her chains. A subtle glance passes between the girls as they let the rhythm of the desert speak for them.
Z moves forward in trembling, yet attentive steps, following the line of girls along the road that leads her toward an unknown fate. Fear pulses in her chest like a wild herd of wasps running across the plains, yet still, she dances. The heat of Lar Torvis brushes her fair skin in soft shades of rose. Wrapped in light scarlet silk that grazes her thighs, she moves with quiet intent, searching among the gazes for a possible refuge, in the eyes of one of the masters of caravan. Felicity moves with eager sensuality, alert to the gaze of their captors, bright eyes darting between them as she steps and glides. Each intentional shift of her body, a yearning to please and a beg for their notice, needy nipples pressing against the tight fabric as if they too read the memo.
Sapphira shouts, moves in quiet unison, steps elegant as body sways with practiced grace despite her chains. A subtle glance passes between the girls as they let their rhythm of the desert speak for them. Haley shouts, as we move towards the city, hands bound but steps in quiet sync. Glances as fear flickers as does determination, feet move but not in panic. Our subtle dance of defiance, showing them we are more than what they have captured as dance to please. Nina shouts. Her feet fly across the scorching sand that tries to burn them. Her waist twists to the rhythm of the music playing in the city. She caresses her body while her mind tries to guess what the future will bring. She looks at the masters near the tents and trembles inside.
Pink shouts. Bare feet tickle the sand curiously while Amber gaze searches out the sleigh at her side. She offers a warming smile while fingers curl out an invitation to any passing by. Smooth palms glide over creamy thighs, attention turning to the final destination.
Noxie sways beside the others, hips rolling and steps falling in smooth rhythm despite the chain of her faith. The city off in the distance, there is a touch of hesitation in her pace. She still moves with a sensual eagerness, intent on showing those who now own her just how beautifully she can dance. Ashley says, "Applause." Faith says, "Applause."
Passion says, asterisk.
Gavin shouts, "Wood."
Marlena shouts, "Well done." Duncan strikes his hand to his shoulder, cheering bravo, bravo. Pink shouts, gives up quickly on the laundry as the warmth of the water and sound of the jungle's melody spur her into a dance. Bare feet hold steady to the mossy rock beneath, thighs urging out a rhythm of exploration and delight in aim to coax the rest to give up the chore and join the fun.
Tahenia kneels by the river. Hands move in a slow, steady rhythm. Wrists dip, lift and twist. Water glides over fabric and skin. Damp strands of hair cling to her neck as she pauses, stretching slightly, eyes half-lidded in the warmth of the day. Haley shouts, kneels at the river scrubbing clothes. The jungle's call twist into a strange, lilting rhythm. Head lifts, eyes follow a graceful girl who weaves her way through the trees. Without noticing, she begins to sway and step in time, joining the girl laughter mingling with the sounds of the jungle. The lure of our dance drawn out by unseen hands. Nina shouts. The water splashes on Nina's hot body. The slippery stone doesn't stop her from moving her voluptuous body. Her body sways happily, sharing her chores with her sisters. The rain falls over her body like a blessing. Sapphira shouts, kneels by the river, hands move in a slow, steady rhythm. Wrists dip, lift and twist. Water glides over fabric and skin. Damp strands of hair cling to her neck as she pauses, stretching slightly, eyes half-lidded in the warmth of the day. Noxious wild spirit of the jungle still clinging to her as her body sways to the heat that builds within. No longer resisting, there is both surrender and fire in her dance. Each step showing a panther girl's fierce outer shell now turned toward accepting her fate that is to come.
Eileen shouts. Grace sways in the jungle river with playful delight, laughing as she turns the rhythm of the wild into dance. her movements light and carefree until the sudden sight of the slaver steals the joy from her eyes. Felicity flicks the cloth in her hand with playful flair, water droplets catching the green-tinged light as they spray an arch over her head, raining down on her. Hips undulate like the shifting water, her skin's sparkling with the sheen of her efforts.
Bella shouts, notices the master, then quickly begins to dance. Crystalline eyes glimmer and sparkle against a shimmering ray of sunlight, curvaceous hips entice, while beautiful, bountiful bosoms sway so seductively.
Z amid laughter and splashes. She turns work into play, dancing in the stream beside her companions as clothes pile up among the stones. The forest heat teases her, inviting her to dive in completely. And for a moment, she almost gives in, laughing at herself. But the risk of being caught makes her hold back. At any moment, a stern gaze could appear in the fun.
Raffi shouts, folding like a serpent to my knees, I bow my head. Master, I hope you are pleased. Dante shouts, well done, you, my little barbarian, will dance for me tonight. Faith says, applause.
Coarden shouts, applauds, applauds.
Katina says, claps for them all. Cha says, applausos.
Nayla Centauri says, applause.
Silvana claps hard as the curtain opens.
Rhiannon eyes shine with the promise of pleasing. Crawling behind him, her belly tightens. Crimson tresses wisp about the slave's body, caressing heated flesh. Arching back his slut's hips, sway seductively, displaying all he owns to him unabashed. Felicity fingers glide through the gritty sand with a husky purr, feeling the pull of the music running raw through her flesh, sparking nerves and desire as her head falls back. She arches, hips rocking until she rolls to her knees. Lost in music's thrall, she pushes up, extending to her fullest height, plush hips rolling before her master, displaying all she is before. Rhiannon rakes nails down the sides of lusty slave flesh with a whimper. Eyes flash wide, then narrow as Fliss rises. Hisses, "Stay on your knees." A whimper escapes plump lips, feeling her owner's eyes upon. She is quick to regain focus on her knees before him. Felicity flushed with need as she refines the rhythm and plays upon her knees. The slave bows her back and rolls in a wordless offering of need and desire, caught with the desire to please and surrender before him. Lips parted, skin speckled by the clinging glitter of sand as it catches the firelight. Lush curves glow with slave heat as the slave succumbs fully to the music's hold in her master's gaze. Rhiannon moans softly, abandoning all pretense. She performs naturally. Desire oozed from the beast with every movement. Nipples beckoned for a touch, and eyes glittered with the lust of an owned slave. Wetness caught crystal grains of sand beneath thick thighs, an obvious show of how desperately she wanted to please her master. Felicity, with wordless plea, the enraptured slave rakes her eyes over him, wide in reverence as she fails to keep nimble fingers from dragging over dampened flesh, belying the loss of control, while trained hips buck as if puppet by the music, never losing the poise and grace in her bid to please him. Rhiannon, adoring eyes lower as her body does the same. Respectfully sliding into obeisance, Rhiannon begs to please with soft sounds. Reverent before him, she waits, trembling for his approval. Craving his pleasure, she remains until he decides.
Eagle says, "Applause."
Corden shouts, "Bravo."
Faith says, "Applause." Katina says, "Claps and claps." Ashley says, "Applause."
With a crooked smile, black wine stains amongst the great, whisk in hand dancing on our
Nina
feet.
shouts. She never thought flour could be so much fun. She throws a handful in the air and feels it fall onto her body, sliding over her skin like a soft, sensual blanket, reaching every pore and every crevice. She playfully licks her lips as her hands spread the rest of the flour over her body. Haley shouts. Flour dusts her fingers as flings handfuls of flour over the others. It clings to her hair as she kneads the soft, warm dough. Scents of fresh bread and honeyed pastries fills the air, mingling with the rhythmic tapping of wooden spoons and rolling pins. And our dance begins. Sapphira shouts, twirls into view with a bright, teasing smile as laughter sparkles in her eyes. With a playful flick of her wrist, a pie sails into the crowd, perfectly aimed. Another pie is sent flying with a graceful flourish, and she beams, clearly enjoying the mischief before service begins. Bella shouts, giggles and laughs at the girls as the fine time to play. She gets in the mood, picks up a cup of water and throws it in the air, laughing and not caring who she soaks. Noxie in a haze of flower, warm skin dusted white as she moves with ease and desire to be pleasing. The heat within takes a hold of her, playfully dancing, hips swaying and laughter rising, turning the bakery into a slow, tempting display of soft curves, coy glances and honeyed allure.
Rolling pins like microphone stands.
Felicity twirls within the white clouds swirling around her, lashes and golden locks dusted with fine powder. With a grin, she scoops a handful and blows hard, murmuring, "Make a wish," as a sparkling spray of magic dust coating Rhiannon as a gleeful giggle shimmy with the body. Z blows a handful of sakana flour into the air, creating a small white storm of pure mischief. Her agile feet glide across the warm bakery floor, dancing among sacks of grain and bursts of laughter. The aroma of breads and cakes in the oven makes her stomach protest, drawing a playful laugh from her as she spins between bowls and spoons. Glancing around, she finds other dancers just as caught up in the fun. While the master sleeps, the joy is guaranteed. Eileen shouts, laughs as flour dusts the air, tossing a bit playfully before flicking dough toward a nearby Jara, grinning mischievously as she ducks under a rolling pin and spins back to knead her mix, clearly turning the baking into a teasing, chaotic game. Pink shouts, hands sticky with kneaded dough. She pinches some portion free, coats in flour and tosses it towards Kaylee's head with a laugh. Pink shifts beneath some flying flour, laughing in delight as her skin is adorned with another layer of white.
Rafflesia shouts. As the rhythm of kneading and dropping dough creates an irresistible tune, becoming my focus as flour bursts joyously into the air. Each puff like playful choreography in a delightful dance falling on my sister's head, aging her like a grandma. I begin to laugh.
TM says, loading books. Books loading.
Best kind of magic you can't design. From first grotto to the final.
Tahenia twirls into view with a bright, teasing smile, as laughter sparkles in her eyes. With a playful flick of her wrist, a pie sails into the crowd, perfectly aimed. Another pie is sent flying with a graceful flourish, and she beams, clearly enjoying the mischief before service begins.
Still tasting bliss.
Mahina claps.
Lionheart shouts, coughs because the flour dust tickles his nostrils. Passion says, applause. Rojo says, bravo.
Eagle says, applause.
Coarden shouts, bravo. Laughs brilliant.
Ayana says, applause.
Lakin shouts, I want some pie now. Fantastic. Claps and claps and claps.
Kaylee shouts, spies the master, steps slowly down over the falls into the warm waters before she enters the pools. Blue eyes watches them intently. Body gracefully undulates with the others as we deftly dance closer, luring them to unspeakable delights. Nina shouts. She slides down the stone. The river waters loosen her muscles. She dives to serve in a bath with a seductive smile. She tries to attract his gaze. She offers to bathe him with her soft hands. Her beastly heart beats strong and excited. Sapphira shouts. Sways with slow, fluid grace, water glistens on soft skin as a playful smile lingers on plump lips. Her gaze lingers with smoldering intent before she turns just enough to draw him in. Each step a promise. Fingers trace lightly along shoulders and down delicate arms, never quite lingering long enough, always leaving him wanting more. Noxie moving through the water beside the other girls, her body swaying in slow, liquid rhythm as water cling and trail over aching bare flesh. With each teasing turn and graceful step, she offers the masters a lush, inviting dance meant to tempt, seduce and quietly stir their desire.
Felicity lips part as the warm water swirls around her shins, resistance pulling against them, slowing her limbs to a sensual drag as her back arches in surrender to its caress. One with the movement, the water, and her sister, the lines of her flexing and flowing, stretching to display the decadent plushness of her curves.
Bella shouts. Soft fingertips caress Master's hardened physique. She smiles and purrs over his approval. Delicate feet spring into action, forcing live frame to gracefully pivot and flow seductively. Rafflesia shouts. The soothing melody of the spring pool beneath the grotto fills the air with its subtle yet strong rhythms. Each ripple and splash syncs with my movements, infusing my dance with nature's vibrant energy and passion to serve.
Eileen shouts, sways with slow, inviting grace, warm water glistening over her skin as she moves like a soft promise at day's end. Her hips rolling in a playful rhythm while her hands drift over her body and through the water in teasing, elegant strokes. Her smile is relaxed and alluring, her gaze lingering with quiet heat as she bathes with deliberate beauty, offering a dance of softness, temptation, and feminine charm meant to soothe, entice, and captivate all who watch.
Tahenia sways with slow, fluid grace, water glistens on soft skin as a playful smile lingers on plump lips. Her gaze lingers with smoldering intent before she turns just enough to draw him in. Each step a promise. Fingers trace lightly along shoulders and down delicate arms, never quite lingering long enough, always leaving him wanting more.
Pink shouts, revels in the warmth of the water as it spreads slowly up wet and supple floor. Flesh tightens as the gaze of man and accompanying slaves heat up the alcove. A hip tilts, cradled by a needy grip of fingers, gliding seductively into the sounds of passion.
Faith says applause.
Corden shouts, amazing. Applauds, applauds, applauds.
Ashley says /a/.
Rojo says, bravo.
Eagle shouts, wonderfully danced. Ashley says, applause.
Lakin shouts, fantastic, amazing job to all. Thank you so much. Claps and claps and claps. Stomping my feet on the wood stands.
Sarah shouts, "Bravo, wonderful dance," and emotes.
Duncan strikes his left shoulder with his right hand, applauding.
Ashley says slash. Farah says, asterisk apelaeus asterisk. Ashley says, applause. Eagle says applause. Eagle says applause. Eagle says applause. Ashley says, applause.
Darius says, great job, everyone.
Gov da easy, 3-3-3.
Elric shouts, great job, Darius and Atticus and Josh are behind the scenes men.
Neptune says applause. Hail to Care Kadarn.
Orchid says, well done, beautiful girls and masters.
Farah says applause. Hail to Care Kadarn. Sarah cheers wonderful dances.
Gorm shouts, you raised 7,500 lindens for RFL girls. Good job.
Lara shouts, great job.
Orchid says, love. Darius shouts, great job, everyone.
Nina says, asterisk apelaeus asterisk.
Kaylee says, emoticon zdumienie VVVV holds VVVVOO.
Orchid says, you all are amazing.
Katina says, great job, claps for all. Up. Sapphira wishes everyone well this day. Nina shouts, Nina wishes everyone a happy end fair.
Duncan strikes his hand to his shoulder, cheering bravo, bravo. Elric shouts, HoRettes, enjoy your day, you are free to roam.
Nina says, thank you, master.
Darius says, okay, my girls, say your farewells and go relax. You earned it.
Rukia says, kiss mark. Tahenia says, thank you, my master. Wishes all well. Gavin shouts, fantastic show.
Darius shouts, I wish everyone well. Thank you for coming. Elric shouts, I wish everyone well.
Farah shouts, well wishes everyone and thank you for the great entertainment. Eagle shouts, mud wrestling time.
Atticus says, looks like we're going to miss out on the mud wrestling.